Chair is pleased to recognize the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Carter, followed by our colleague, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. So you're recognized, buddy. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank all of you for being here, to the witnesses. You know, as a pharmacist for over 30 years, this is the one issue that has frustrated me more than any other issue that I've tried to work on while I've been a member of Congress, because the answer is so simple and it's so clear. The problem to me, from my perspective, is the vertical integration that exists within our healthcare system. When you have the insurance company that owns the PBM, that owns the pharmacy, you have a vertical integration there by which any time you squeeze that balloon, the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to go somewhere else. And that's what's happening here. Dr. Gupta, you referenced PBMs and the problems that they had in your opening testimony. And that is the problem. I know. I'm a pharmacist. I was a retail pharmacist, an independent retail pharmacist. I'm the one who signed the front of the paychecks. I had to make the numbers work, and I know where the problem is. And the problem right now is that you have 3 PBMs that are all owned by insurance companies. Someone made the point, I believe it was you, Dr. Gupta, that prescription drug prices are only a small percentage of the total healthcare costs. And they are. But the problem is, the reason that prescription drug prices are so high is because when you have Aetna that owns Caremark, that owns CVS, when you have Cigna that owns Express Scripts, PBM, that owns Express Scripts mail order pharmacy, which, oh, by the way, is the second busiest in terms of volume in the nation. When you have United, which has the insurance, the PBM, and the pharmacy as well, then you have 3 PBMs that cover over 70% of the market. There is no competition there. And that is what has got to be broken up. And yet we tend in Congress to try to attack it from different perspectives. And then we have a bill like H.R. 3. I appreciate and I applaud you, Madam Chair, and I applaud the majority party as well as the minority party for trying to address this problem. But this is going to hurt more than it's going to help. I tell the story all the time. When I first started practicing pharmacy in 1980, if you were diagnosed with hepatitis C, it meant you were going to die because we didn't have a cure for it. Now, through research and development by the pharmaceutical manufacturers, you can take a single pill and be cured of it. That is nothing short of phenomenal. However, if that single pill costs $85,000 and you can't afford it, it does you no good whatsoever. The problem is we've got to break up that monopoly, that vertical integration. Dr. Gupta, I want to ask you, how important do you think this issue is in saving patients would have if PBMs were held accountable, if the middlemen who bring no value whatsoever to the healthcare system, if they were made to be transparent and accountable?
Well, Congressman, I agree with you more. There is consolidation in the PBM industry and in general among prescription drug middlemen. In fact, of what we spend on prescription branded drugs, only 53% is estimated to actually make it back to manufacturers. So the middlemen are not just taking a small cut, they're taking, in many cases, a substantial cut. And transparency is the key.
I'm sorry, Dr. Gupta, what are they doing with that 47%? Are they putting it back in the research and development? At least the pharmaceutical manufacturers are putting it back in the research and development.
You're right, Congressman. I think that the middlemen have consolidated, and three entities have really outsized market power right now because they represent such a vast proportion of lives.
And my concern with H.R. 3 is it's going to stifle innovation. I mentioned hepatitis, and I mentioned all the other things that I've seen nothing short of miracles come out of research and development over my many years of practice in pharmacy. I think about my friends that suffer and that have family members who suffer from Alzheimer's. Right now, there are currently estimated to be almost 6 million Americans with Alzheimer's. But by 2050, the Americans age 65 and older with Alzheimer's is projected to be as high as 14 million. We've had 146 unsuccessful attempts to develop medicines to treat Alzheimer's. Dr. Gupta, what's H.R. 3 going to do to research and development for potential cures for Alzheimer's?
I think it could be done. Not just Alzheimer's, but disease, ALS, and similar diseases where we haven't unfortunately made very much progress. We continue to try, we continue to take the bets and pour resources into them, but eliminating the potential for incentivizing that innovation, I think, could be devastating.
Madam Chair, I appreciate your indulgence. I'm just telling you, the solution is simple. It's right before us, and we're not getting it. We're not understanding that it's right. All we got to do is break up this vertical integration that exists within the healthcare system. If we break it up, we can do something about prescription drug prices. We can do something about healthcare costs. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'll yield back.